Welcome back, everybody, to the Pittsburgh Pirates franchise here on MLB The Show 20. As today, the NLCS kicks off here today against the Washington Nationals. Last episode, we concluded the NLDS as we officially beat the Colorado Rockies in 4, including winning games 3 and 4 on the road at Coors Field. Our lineup was incredible in both games, especially Game 3, in which we scored 14 runs, 9 of which were in the 6th inning. In that 6th inning, Oneil Cruz and Josh Bell both made history. Bell is the 11th player to hit 3 home runs in a playoff game, 10th to do it without cheating, because Jose Altuve did it in 2017. And Oneil Cruz becomes the first player in Major League history to hit multiple home runs in the same inning of a playoff game. So our offense was very good to say the least, and then even in Game 4, 14 hits, 6 runs. The Rockies' offense played fairly well in both games, but it was not enough. Our lineup was just too dominant, and we were able to get the win. The two main teams in the National League who I thought were our biggest threats throughout the regular season were the Brewers and the Padres, and we don't have to play either of them here in the postseason. Obviously, Milwaukee lost to Colorado in the wild card game, and the Padres lost in 4 in the NLDS to the Washington Nationals. The Nationals have had a very different road of getting here. Unlike us, the Brewers and the Padres, Washington did not win 100 games. Heck, they needed a game 163 to even make the playoffs, in which they beat the Philadelphia Phillies to officially clinch the division. And just like us, they won their series in 4 games. Just because Washington only won 84 games in the regular season does not mean you can sleep on them. They have one of the top lineups in the game, led by Juan Soto, whose OPS finished over 1,000 for the 3rd straight season. They also have some stars like Kris Bryant, Victor Robles, Trey Turner. This team has a number of former Pirates, by the way. In the lineup, the longtime right fielder of the Pirates, Gregory Polanco, along with second baseman Yandy Diaz, who was on the team last year, and he was traded to Washington in part of the Wander Suero trade. This rotation is also very good. Steven Strasburg is still an ace, Patrick Corbin is a great number 2, and Max Scherzer is still getting the job done. In the bullpen, they have multiple former Pirates, including Mike Minor, who we acquired last year for trade deadline. He wasn't all that special. And then Jace Fry, who was also part of a Wander Suero trade. We got Fry back in Season 2 from the White Sox. Things just didn't really work out, and then we ended up shipping him. Let's take a brief look here at our numbers throughout the NLDS. Obviously, the lineup was spectacular. Josh Bell was a mammoth. In the 4 games, he hit 4 home runs, 10 RBIs, and hit 500 in those games. And the rest of the lineup was able to do well enough for us to really play well. So, usually, you win playoff games and playoff series based on your pitching, but our hitting is why we won. Our starting pitching was very unimpressive. Jameson Taillon and Santiago Osuna both struggled. Jordan Yamamoto, to an extent, was not great either. However, Adonis Medina in his first playoff game was awesome. The bullpen, for the most part, was good. Guys like Wander Suero, Emmanuel Clase, and Raisel Iglesias all did not allow any runs, but the bullpen had their fair share of bad moments. So, if the pitching can clean things up, I see no reason why we cannot win the World Series this season. So let's get into it. Game 1 of the NLCS between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Washington Nationals. Last year, the Pirates were in the NLCS against the Arizona Diamondbacks, which obviously went to a Game 7 and resulted in an Arizona Diamondbacks victory. And obviously, they ended up losing the World Series to the Red Sox. There are a lot of stars on these teams. Obviously, Juan Soto headlines the way for Washington, Josh Bell for Pittsburgh. Both teams had their aces on the hill for Game 1 today. As for Pittsburgh, it'll be Jameson Taillon, who had an excellent regular season, struggled in Game 1 of the NLDS against the Padres, allowed 3 runs in 4 innings. Whip of 2, only 3 strikeouts. He really did not look like himself, so hopefully he can pitch a little bit better here today against Washington. Let's start here in the top of the first. 1-2 pitch for Victor Robles, and he's going to go down with a 2-seam fastball. Very nice pitch by Taillon, as it'll be Steven Strasburg on the mound for Washington, coming off a good Game 1 victory against the Padres. As here's Josh Bell. Hit 4 dingers in the NLDS and nearly gets his 5th home run in the postseason, but unfortunately, Robles tracks it down at the warning track. You're not going to get many baseballs past Victor Robles. He is one of the best defensive center fielders in baseball. Top 2, here's Chris Bryant going to draw a walk. So the Nationals start with a runner on base. That would bring up the former Pirate, Yandy Diaz, who lines out to first. Bell will tag Bryant for the double play. Incredible defensive effort by Josh Bell, showing that, hey, I'm more than just an offensive superstar. Very nice glove work by Bell as we move to the bottom of the second. Benny lining up at the plate. He's going to go down on the curveball. Nice pitch by Strasburg, as that is the first out of the inning. Later in the bottom of the second, Brian Reynolds up weak, fly out to third, as it is caught. 2 shutout innings for both sides. Washington is at a few base runners. The Pirates, meanwhile, have had nothing so far. On to the third inning now. Victor Robles up at the plate, and that one gets by the glove of Pablo Cairo, and it looks like it'll drop for extra bases. Robles also has some wheels, so a runner with elite speed and scoring position, not ideal. What makes it worse is who's up next, and that's Juan Soto. Single into left. The throw from Cairo is off the mark, and the Washington Nationals are on the board as they will take a 1-0 lead. Inning does come to a close as Gregory Polanco will strike out looking. Washington now leads it 1-0 after the RBI single by Soto as we advance to the bottom of the third inning. Francisco Mejia up at the plate, and he crushes it deep into right field, and that one is out of here into the seats. Mejia's second postseason home run, and the Pirates, with one swing of the bat, are on the board as they will tie it up at 1. Moving on to the fourth inning, there's Bryant going down on the slider for the first out of the inning. A few batters later, here's Brandon Belt, who belts one into right, and that'll be a 2-run shot for Brandon Belt, and Washington has the lead right back as it is now 3-1. Taillon was pitching really well today too, and it's kind of falling flat on his face. Bottom 4, here's Big Ding Benny Lang. He's had a slow start to the postseason, but this one is into the seats. And after nobody could hit the ball well early in this game, both offenses are on fire. Lang's first home run of the postseason, and Pittsburgh will cut the lead in half as it is now 3-2. On to the fifth inning, Taillon still in as he strikes out Trey Turner right there. Good pitch from Taillon, following batter Victor Robles, as he will nail it into left center field, and this one is gone. And the Nationals are back up by 2 as Robles goes deep, and Jameson Taillon is now on a cold streak. Washington up 4-2. Pittsburgh will keep Taillon in the game as he strikes out Juan Soto on a beautiful 95-mile-an-hour fastball. A couple batters later, it's Gregory Polanco who goes down on a fastball as well, striking out in anger. That would end Jameson Taillon's day. Another underwhelming start. Let's see if the bats can once again bail him out, as Brian Reynolds better double check that swing. Good pitch by Strasburg. Francisco Mejia now up to date. He's already gone yard once. That one, if it's fair, it's out of here, and it will go into the seats. A solo shot for Francisco Mejia. The Pirates have 3 hits today, and they are all home runs. Pittsburgh is now only down by 1 once again. Let's take a look at this one on Show Track. That ball went a mile in the air, but barely gone. But nonetheless, it went the distance it needed to. Pinch hitter Tony Kemp now up. He hits a single. And for the first time in this entire game, the Pirates have a base runner. I know that's hard to believe, but it's true. It's taken nearly 5 innings to have somebody on base, and it will not matter in the slightest as Oneil Cruz goes down looking. Phenomenal pitch by Strasburg. Got to give him credit. I really don't blame Oneil Cruz for laying off that one as we go to the top of the 6th. Raisel Iglesias is in for Pittsburgh. He is not allowed to run yet this postseason, but unfortunately that would quickly change as the former Pirate Yandy Diaz gets that one off the top of a wall. RBI double. Chris Bryant will score from first, and the Nationals will now take a 5-3 lead, and Yandy Diaz is pretty excited. Jason Castro now with a single into center. Diaz scores with ease, and the Nats now lead this game 6-3. Washington continues to score at will, and the Pirates are finding ways to stay in it, but Washington just continues to extend their lead as Pablo Cairo totally botches that play. That's a double for Trey Turner. Castro scores, and it's now 7-3, and the inning will finally come to an end with a Victor Robles groundout as Washington puts up 3, and they now lead it by 4 going into the bottom of the frame. Strasburg is still in the game, by the way, as Josh Bell is up at the plate, and he mashes this one into right, into the seats. Bell with his 5th postseason home run, and the Pirates are still hanging in there as it's now 7-4. Wander Franco now up. He draws a walk as Pittsburgh has a runner on and 2 outs here for Bryan Reynolds. As this one is jammed past the glove of Bryant for a hit. Pittsburgh now has 2 runners on and 2 outs. An awesome opportunity here for Francisco Mejia to potentially hit his 3rd home run of the game. 2-1 pitch for Mejia as he weakly will pop this one up. So it appears that Mejia most likely won't be the 12th player in postseason history to hit 3 home runs in a game. As we go to the 7th, Michael Givens is now in for Pittsburgh, and the inning would start off pretty well. Another really good defensive play by Josh Bell. Gregory Polanco is not too thrilled. However, at the end of the inning would not go as smoothly. Chris Bryant with a shot into left field, his first of the postseason, and the Nationals are now up 8-4 as Washington continues to have a comfortable lead, and they add some more insurance. On to the bottom of the inning now, Ryan Harper is in for the Nationals. He's done fairly well so far this postseason. Here is Dylan Carlson. He's going to strike out on the curveball. Good pitch right there by Harper. Next up is Ke'Bryan Hayes, the pinch hitter, and he's going to go down on the slider. Swung a little bit too early at that pitch. As we go to the 8th, the former Washington National, Wander Suero, is in for the Pirates. Suero looked good in the NLDS as he gets a nice strikeout on that pitch. And the inning would end successfully as Robles will fly out to short. O'Neal Cruz makes the catch. And now let's go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Here's Josh Bell. He's already gone yard once today. This one does not go over the fence, but it'll drop for extra bases. Bell with a no-out double. And Pittsburgh once again has another chance to potentially start a rally. And this is exactly what they need. Here's Benny Lane now. He's going to strike out. Excellent fastball. What a pitch. As that one was 98 up in the zone, and Lane had no chance there. Wander Franco now up. He's going to single this one into right. That's actually going to drop for extra bases, as that'll be an RBI double for Franco, and Pittsburgh will cut the deficit now to 3. Jace Fry, the former Pirate, will enter. He's pitched a 1/3 of an inning in this postseason, and, well, he has an ERA of 0. He's doing something right. Here's Bryan Reynolds drawing a walk, so the Pirates now have 2 runners on. Once again here for Francisco Mejia, who has another chance to break this game wide open. This ball is hit high, pretty deep, into left center, but it's not deep enough. Franco tagging for 3rd, and he is barely safe. So now Pittsburgh has runners on the corners and 2 outs. A huge at-bat here for Dylan Carlson, as this one is hit nicely into left center, but once again not deep enough. And Pittsburgh fails again with multiple runners on base. So now we go to the 9th inning. Washington up by 3. All they got to do is play smart baseball, and they'll win this game. As Trey Turner strikes out. Good pitch by Wander Suero. He will get Robles to go down on the cutter, as Wander Suero is dealing right now against his former team. Gonna have a hat trick here in the 9th inning, getting Juan Soto to go down fishing. Good frame from Suero, and now Pittsburgh needs to score 3 to tie it. Austin Voth is in for the save, and 2 save opportunities this postseason. He's, well, gotten 2 saves. O'Neal Cruz up at the plate here with 1 out. This ball is hit softly into left, and it will be caught for the 2nd out of the inning. And this game is now on the shoes of the rookie, Pablo Cairo, who draws a walk. So maybe this is the 2-out rally the Pirates need. Josh Bell is now up at the plate, 2-2 pitch, and that was a phenomenal pitch right in the corner. Bell kind of had to swing at it, and he's going to weakly fly out to third as the Washington Nationals upset the Pirates here in Game 1 of the NLCS, and the Nats are 3 wins away from advancing to their second World Series appearance in 5 years. Washington was just a better team today. They scored 8 runs, all within the 3rd to 7th innings. Home runs for Chris Bryant, Brandon Belt, and Victor Robles. Strasburg got the win. He was not that impressive. Pittsburgh only had 8 hits, but they did have 5 runs. Pittsburgh had great power today. The contact just wasn't fully there. 2 home runs in this, one for Francisco Mejia, one for Benny Lane, and one for Josh Bell. Wander Franco had the other RBI. Jameson Taillon with another underwhelming postseason appearance as he gets the loss, and the bullpen didn't help do any favors. Raisel Iglesias was unimpressive, and Michael Givens allowed a run as well. So let's advance right here to Game 2. Pittsburgh does not have a lot of momentum right now, and they need to gain that back today. Washington was just convincingly the better team in Game 1. They pitched better. They hit the ball really well. Let's see if they can carry that momentum over to Game 2. The rookie is on the hill for the Pirates, Santiago Osuna. We'll talk more about him in just a second as we look at both lineups. Once again, regular starters for both sides. As mentioned earlier, it is Osuna who is on the mound. In his first career postseason start, Osuna struggled, and the Pirates got the loss. Now, the kid is only 20 years old, but this is playoff baseball. This is where you have to be at your best. And, well, Pablo Cairo makes a very bad play there. Cairo's only 19 years old, but the very first at-bat of Game 2, you want to set the tone. That's not what Pittsburgh does, as Trey Turner gets the double. Turner would advance to third as Juan Soto is intentionally walked. So that sets a force out at second and a potential double play as Polanco will strike out looking. So now the Nationals pretty much need a base hit here to score Turner, and they would be unsuccessful. Chris Bryant is just a window shopping because he's just looking. Santiago Osuna looks very relieved as he gets out of the jam. On at the bottom of the first, Patrick Corbin getting the start today for the Nationals. Like Osuna, he struggled in Game 2 of the NLCS, which was a Nationals loss. Obviously, he has more postseason experience than Osuna, as he does strike out Josh Bell. Top of the second, here's Brandon Belt. He went deep in Game 1. This one does not quite have the distance, however, it will drop for a ground rule double. So the Nationals have a runner in scoring position here for Jason Castro. Who hits a single into left. Cairo going to attempt to throw Brandon Belt out at home. It's a good throw, but it's not in time, and Washington now leads the game 1-0. I think Pablo Cairo has really been exposed defensively so far here in the NLCS. His bread and butter is definitely not defensively according to his attributes, and it is showing as Trey Turner strikes out, and the damage is done after that. Bottom 2, really nice pitch by Corbin to strike out Wander Franco. Franco does not strike out often, so seeing him absolutely whiff on that pitch certainly makes you feel good if you're a Nats fan. And then Brian Reynolds grounding out too short. 2 perfect innings so far for Patrick Corbin as we go to the top of the third. Polanco up at the plate. This one is hit into center. Cairo and Reynolds both chasing after it, and Reynolds does make the catch, and that'll end the top of the third. Santiago Osuna is looking better today than he did in his first postseason game as Benny Lane strikes out. Another beautiful pitch by Corbin, who's just dealing right now. Top of the fourth, Bryant goes down swinging, and it seems like Osuna has kind of found a groove. Okay, maybe not. Jason Castro with a 2-run shot into right. Castro has driven in all 3 runs so far today, and Washington is now up 3-0. Castro was on that World Series Astros team that cheated, but regardless, he does have postseason experience, so definitely showing it there. Bottom of the fourth. For the first time today, the Pirates have a base runner as Pablo Cairo hits a single. These Nationals starting pitchers have both done really good jobs early into games. O'Neal Cruz will draw a walk. That pitch looked like a strike, but regardless, there's now 2 on and nobody out here for Josh Bell. grounds this one right to third. 5-4-3 double play. The Nationals infield has more chemistry than a science project. But Pablo Cairo is safe at third after a walk to Carlson. Wander Franco is up, and he will ground out to third. Bryant gets the force out to second, and we go to the top of the fifth inning. Trey Turner will go down looking. A nice pitch by Santiago Osuna for the first out of the inning. Juan Soto now up, 1-2 pitch, and he will go down on the curveball. That will likely end Osuna's day. 5 innings, 3 earned runs. He wasn't terrible, he wasn't great, but could have pitched a lot worse. Bottom 5, Benny Ling with a single into right. Pittsburgh is trying to figure something out because they have been dominated offensively by Corbin. Here's McCutchen with 2 outs and is a pinch hitter. Flies this one right into the glove of Victor Robles. And that is 5 shutout innings for Patrick Corbin. And we advance to the 6th inning now as it's the flame-throwing Emmanuel Clase into the game. 2 postseason appearances this year, 2 innings, 0 runs allowed, 0 hits allowed, as he strikes out his former teammate Gregory Polanco on a 101-mile-an-hour cutter. But the fun would end shortly after as Chris Bryant mashes a 100-mile-an-hour fastball right into center field. Bryant's second home run in the NLCS, and the Nationals now lead this game 4-0. Yandy Diaz strikes out on the slider, Emmanuel Clase, ending the inning off strong, and we go to the bottom of the 6th. Here's Pablo Cairo. He already has a hit today. Make that 2. Cairo, shopping cap, going to open up the inning with a double. If there's any time to start a rally, you might as well start it now. Francisco Mejia now up at the plate. 3-1 pitch, and he hits this one nicely into center for a single. Cairo scores, and the Pirates are finally on the board as it is now 4-1. Took a while, but it seems like Pittsburgh is starting to figure things out slowly but surely. 2-2 pitch now for Wander Franco, and he gets plunked on the behind. So now there are 2 runners on and 2 outs. A huge opportunity here for Brian Reynolds, who does well in clutch situations. Hits it nicely, but it is going to be caught by Brandon Belt. And once again, Pittsburgh leaves multiple runners in scoring position. Top of the 7th, here is Robles, going to ground out to third. 1-2-3 inning for Clase and crew. So Pittsburgh has 3 innings to come back down by 3 runs. As here is Benny Lane hitting this one nicely into left, showing off that Oppo-Popo. Lane with a 1-out single, and the Nationals would proceed to make a pitching change after that. Hunter Strickland is now in. Ironic that he's on the Nationals after he fought Bryce Harper when Harper was on the Nationals. Anyway, that's besides the point. Brian Hayes with a huge double, and Pittsburgh now has a pair of runners in scoring position. The Pirates have really struggled so far in the NLCS with multiple runners on base. This is their opportunity to redeem themselves. Once again, a phenomenal pitch. O'Neal Cruz kind of had to swing at it. But nonetheless, Pittsburgh again chokes with runners on base. The Fresh Prince of Pittsburgh, Will Smith, will enter the game as he strikes out Juan Soto. Little lefty-on-lefty crime right there. Another lefty-on-lefty crime as it's Gregory Polanco who goes down looking. And then to what should have been to end the inning will not end the inning. Chris Bryant with his second home run of the day. Third of the series as he has been a maniac up to this point. And the Nationals now lead it 5-1. Bottom of the 8th now. Ryan Harper is in for the Nats. Here is Francisco Mejia up of the plate with nobody on and 1 out. This pitch is going to be sailed nicely into left field. Back at the track at the wall, and it barely has the distance. Francisco Mejia with his 4th postseason home run, 3rd at the NLCS. It seems like Mejia is the only player who has shown up in these first 2 games, and as you can tell, it takes more than one player to win a baseball game. Nationals are going to start the 9th off here with a bang as Starlin Castro goes deep, and they now lead it 6-2. Will Smith has allowed multiple dingers today, and his day would come to an end as Trey Turner grounds out to third. Quick throw over to first by Benny Lane, but Pittsburgh needs 4 here in the bottom of the 9th to at least tie it. Tanner Rainey will enter All the Nationals have to do is allow less than 4 and they are fine. As the Pirates are down to their final strike, here's Travis Swaggerty deep in the left, but not deep enough. And the Pittsburgh Pirates will start the NLCS down 0-2. Pittsburgh had 2 home games and lost both of them. And all of a sudden, the Nationals have all of the momentum going into the next 3 games in D.C. Pittsburgh has to win 4 out of their next 5 games if they want to make the World Series. Obviously, this is definitely not how Pittsburgh wanted to start the NLCS, but there's still plenty of time to turn the ship. For Washington, Patrick Corbin pitched very well. 6 in the 3rd innings, only allowed 1 run. The bullpen shut the door as well. And the bats just weren't good. For Washington, 6 runs, 9 hits. Nice. They were just the better team once again. And Francisco Mejia seems like the only one who has shown up so far in this series. Everybody else, for the most part, I guess Josh Bell has played fairly well too. But other than Mejia and Bell, everybody else has been disappointing. And you can't have 2 players carrying a team on baseball. I mean, Mike Trout's the best player in the world, and he's never won a playoff game in his career. It's a team effort, and the team has to play better. In the American League, the Rays have won games 1 and 2 over the Indians. So barring anything crazy, we could have a Washington versus Tampa Bay World Series. But hopefully, our Pirates can create some craziness. Hope you all enjoyed. I'm out. Peace.